Hello, good morning, afternoon, or indeed good bloody well evening to episode 111 of the UK's #1 gaming podcast, CrossCast. We are part of the Crossplayers, a team of podcasters dedicated to bringing you all of our gutter opinions on the incredible games we play, the consoles we love, and the universe of news surrounding them all. And to get things started today on this bumper CrossCast, I want to introduce you to the 3 April Fools I'm going to be chatting with. It's Alex, Lewis, and our guest, Andrew. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
And I am your host, the man with the plan, Dan. So, Lewis, you back?
I'm back. I'm here.
What are you drinking?
I'm here.
What are you
Fine.
drinking? Come on.
I've got water.
Oh.
Tap.
Oh, come on.
For the avoidance of doubt.
Oh, come on.
Not like Ben, or even you, Evia, or Volvic, if you want to slum it. This is pure tap. Pure tap.
Just as a curious round the table here, who actually enjoys sparkling water? You do.
Of course.
I do.
How can you be
I'm
mixed?
always. See, I like it, but it's particularly if you're like on a work course or something, because nobody else drinks a bottle of sparkling water, so you always end up with a whole bottle to yourself. It's great.
See, this is why you've done well in your career, because you've been that guy, and everyone's like, "Oh, look at him, that maverick, that renegade. He's a professional," and you're there like, vile stuff. You were like that,
What's
Andrew.
wrong with his face?
Yeah, come on, what was that about?
That's just how it looks.
He's got withdrawal symptoms. He needs sparkling water now.
Yeah. By the same logic, he sat there eating the wax fruit that's on the other side of the room. Like,
That's why I love my soda stream.
That's a good point. Okay. Come on, Andrew, you were like that. We'll get to it. Why?
I don't mind it sometimes, but I probably wouldn't choose it. But if it was in front of me, I would probably drink it.
That's not a good enough answer.
Just on a table randomly.
Yeah, I mean, I would check that it hadn't been open first.
Well, what are you drinking right now?
What am I drinking right now?
Yeah.
I'm nearly at the end of a can of gin and tonic, Sainsbury's gin and tonic, and I have an unopened one ready to go.
Oh my god, it's doubled up. It's gonna be a mad night. I've got a bottle of 7-Up.
Ooh, a fancy
bottle of
bottle as
7-Up.
well.
Fancy bottle of 7-Up from our American pizza slice that we just had before, because it's been a good day. So I thought, you know what, we'll get a pizza in. Alex, I saw your is it just diluting juice?
Just diluting juice.
Diluting juice. Fucking hell, Jesus Christ. Anyway, we've got a marmalade pack show for you today, but before we begin, I would like you to support us. Please give this podcast a review on the service you're using. Follow us on Twitter at @TheCrossPlayers, or check out thecrossplayers.com for links to all of our content and Discord. Or if you're stark raving mad, hit up patreon.com/thecrossplayers and contribute as little as £2 to help us produce the show, and entry into our batshit crazy WhatsApp group that Andrew loves. Don't you, Andrew?
Sorry, are you asking me a
It's a
question?
fucking podcast, mate. You got to answer. You can't just nod.
I didn't. You sounded like you were mumbling. I wasn't quite sure what you asked me.
He sounded like he was mumbling. Right, okay.
That's why you need to pay attention, Andrew. It's a
No, I'm so
deliberate
sorry.
mumbles.
Well, someone's not going to do very well on a quiz later if that's their attention, and I might just mumble my way through that now. Andrew, what have you been up to, mate? You've been active recently? Have you...
Active in what sense? Like,
Well, you tell me.
You were
It's a
swimming
Thursday
this
night. Come
morning.
on. Us girls can talk.
No, lots going on. The book, which I've been talking about for about 3 years, is finally printed. Hooray! So that's all go. And then obviously work with Lost in Cult is like constantly on the go. So we've just come back from a couple of game conventions, and we've launched a couple of new projects. We've got another one coming in like 5 days time. So, yeah, it's just constant things to do. Thankfully, I'm on holiday next week, so I can have a break from it. So I feel like I haven't had a holiday for 2 years, but yeah, it's good. It's always busy. It's probably how I like it. So
Busy.
yeah.
We're a fan of it as well. So, can you give us some inside news later while we're off air about what's coming?
I'm sure I probably may be able to. Just don't tell John because he will kill me.
That's fine. We won't tell John. John likes us. It's okay. Should we go into the news, Alex?
Yes, let's.
Do you want to? You're not doing your ad libs like last
Well,
week.
I don't really, but yeah,
Are
okay.
you sure? Do you want to? Let's do it. Oh, it's the news. We've got 3 news subjects for you this week. We've got number 1, which is the Tears of the Kingdom preview. Tears?
Heirs of the Kingdom.
I don't know. I can't remember. Tears of the Kingdom
Interesting.
previews leave
Tears of
people generally impressed. Is the news subject on here. So I'm just having a little look at the news roundup. So in Nintendo Life, it says, here at Nintendo Life, we are rather excited about a little upcoming game called The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. You might have heard of it. It seems that after 6 years of waiting, the run-up to the game's release date has come about rather quickly. And we are now awash with trailers, promotional materials, and as of today, hands-on previews. And it goes on to start. So Kez McDonald from The Guardian continued this positive reception, commenting on how impressed they were by the new Fuse and Ultra Hand options. Sounds like something that you'd use, Alex, there, Ultra Hand options, and stressing the emphasis that the game puts on fun experimentation. It figures in. She continues, it wants you to think of things and then immediately be able to try them out without worrying too much about the logistics, removing all the friction between idea and result. Charles Pulliam-Moore on The Verge said, once you start really using Link's new abilities to interact with the things around him, the monsters, the weapons, the bushes full of bomb flowers, Tears of the Kingdom reveals itself to be a much more technically complex and imaginative game than its predecessor, which is saying something. I'll go through the final point. So Steve Watts over at GameSpot said, to my surprise, Tears of the Kingdom bridged that gap by presenting open-ended physics-based puzzles, but with solutions that felt so intuitive that I still got the satisfaction of finding my own complicated but correct way. There is one more. Eurogamer Lottie Lynn. Tears of the Kingdom wants to fill players with a passion for creativity and experimentation in the same way Breath of the Wild urged for exploration. I can easily see myself spending hours constructing the perfect death machine, which will crush enemies without ever having to unsheath the sword. So, are we excited about this game finally? I know the last trailer kind of got us going a little bit. Alex, you're nodding. You were probably least enthusiastic out of the original cross players, so come on, mate.
I'm excited for it, but I probably still have reservations. Like, I think it's going to be good. I think there's some things in here that make me a wee bit like. A lot of people have commented, and I know, Lewis, maybe me and you have disagreed with what mixed means, and but quite a few people have commented, and yeah, well, not just him, but a lot of people mentioned like the controls are a bit fiddly in terms of this building and the fusion, and well, not so much the fusion, but like the building vehicles and all this nonsense. Like, that's not what I want from this game. Maybe it will be when I play it. That's what people seem to be suggesting here, so it's maybe like kind of opening my mind a little bit more to it, but I wanted a bit more of what we already had, and this feels like, yeah, it's changing things up a bit, but is that going to be for the better or for the worse? But when you watch some of the videos and you see some of the random things that people are doing, you can see people who love being able to do that, to build these vehicles and just go and fly above an enemy camp to just like paraglide into it, or to basically fire bombs at them, just trying all these different types of arrows or different types of weapons or different things you can do at the enemies. I mean, it seems incredibly creative, but I don't know if I'm creative enough to play it. If you know what, kind of know what I mean.
You're a Lego kind of guy, aren't you? You like being on rails and just like sorting stuff out in that way, but you don't want to have to think, ooh, what would that bomb flower do with X, Y, and Z with a wheel
basically,
on it?
Yeah.
Okay. Lewis, you're a creative chappy.
I can't wait to get a random mushroom and stick it on the end of a spike, just to see what happens when I throw it somewhere. No, I get the whole people moaning, the mixed reviews, Alex and Jason Schreier saying that the controls might be a little bit difficult. Like, fair enough. Like, I remember some horrendous things in Breath of the Wild, like a stupid ball puzzle that you had to twist the Joy-Con around.
God, yeah.
That was bad. But there were other ways to kind of get around it. If you could kind of flick the thing up, land the ball on the back, and then you could sort of fanny about with it that way. But no, I've been looking forward to it since it was announced, however long ago that was now. I've been trying not to watch stuff so I can go in as unspoiled as possible. But I think it looks really cool. I didn't have any issues with, again, back to the control. I didn't have any issue with the controls in Metroid Dread. I know people complained about that. Again, these are just little obstacles. So I did see, I can't remember who it was. I think it was maybe Polygon. I'd say they'd also mentioned the control method or the scheme for Ultra Hand or whatever it is. But they did say that they didn't think they had enough time to get used to it. So like with loads of stuff, it might be that over time, I would hope you would get used to it if it is a bit iffy. But if that's one small part of that game, then the rest of it, everything else is overwhelmingly positive. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I don't want to see much else or anything else. It's already on my muted words list on Twitter.
Ooh, good idea. Forgot about that. Might do that now.
I must remember to do that on the Cross Players Twitter, because there's been a couple of times I've been like, I thought I'd muted all this stuff. I was the wrong one. Abort.
Nate. Literally. Andrew.
Yeah,
so
I shouldn't be seeing Nate's tweets. He's blocked.
every time. Drew. So in terms of Breath of the Wild, where did that rank on your all-time favorite games?
I'm sure we've had this conversation before. I've never finished Breath of the Wild. I think I've played. I did try a couple of years ago to complete it, and then got completely sidetracked, which is what happens with every game that I play, apart from like Resident Evil, maybe Last of Us. So I think, but I probably got like 6 to 8 hours in, maybe. But I liked it. I like it, and I like the look of Tears of the Kingdom. I mean, Mark likes it. Mark likes the look of it, so I think that says everything that we need to know about it, to be fair.
That's a fair comment, to be fair. I know. So, are you like the most active, probably like games journalist / creative that doesn't actually play any games? Or is that me? Still,
probably. I mean, I wouldn't call myself a games journalist, to be fair. I don't write that much about games.
You've written a book.
Well,
I suppose that's an author, not a journalist, Dan. But yeah, same thing. It's fine.
I mean, yeah, but at least with the Dreamcast, I have played a lot of Dreamcast games, so that's fine. But I think I would feel pretty. I mean, if I review a game and then I tried my best to complete it, but I've not been paid by anybody to review Breath of the Wild, so therefore I kind of drop off a little bit. But no, it's yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's one of those games that I will get at some point. Do you think it's going to be necessary for me to finish Breath of the Wild before I play it?
I've very rarely played any sort of Zelda game before Breath of the Wild. So I think I played Wind Waker, and that was it. And I never really felt like I needed to play anything else, or I never felt the urge to play anything else other than Wind Waker again, maybe, and Breath of the Wild. So you'll be fine.
Okay.
You'll be okay.
Cool.
It's exciting, though. How long is that?
YouTube
When's that
video
out?
or something?
Yeah, just YouTube it.
It's like 2 weeks now. Two weeks, just over 2 weeks.
2 weeks tomorrow.
12th of May.
12th? Yeah, 12th. So we'll get to it in a second, but we've got a game out tomorrow, a relatively high-profile one. In fact, let's talk about that right now. So, round up Star Wars Jedi Survivor, seriously impresses in early reviews. Enemy, 10 out of 10. VGC, 5 out of 5. PlayStation Universe, the best console, 9.5 out of 10. Game Informer, 9.3 out of 10. Push Square, 9 out of 10. IGN, 9 out of 10. Games Radar, 9 out of 10. COG Connected, 8.5 out of 10. GameSpot, 8 out of 10. Game Reactor, 8 out of 10. Digital Trends, 8 out of 10. The Gamer, 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
It's pretty good.
That's all I'm going to focus on.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that. That was Jason Schreier, was it? No, joking. But it's sitting at an impressive 86 at the moment on Metacritic as well. Who's picking this game up day one? Did you go for the standard?
I only caved and ordered it tonight.
Yeah, so I did it on the bus back before. I was like, treat myself.
Have you both ordered it physically?
Yes.
Have you heard that it's like not complete on disc?
Well, that's fine. I've got good internet these days.
Well, no,
these days.
that's fine. I just find it weird that so basically only the first like few missions and stuff are actually on the disc. Everything else you have to download a patch in order to play. So if you don't have the internet for any reason and you buy the physical version, you cannot play the whole game.
That's a bit mad. I still think that's a bit crazy. I know that's something that John was especially passionate about, but even that seems a bit balmy. But there must be a reason for it in terms of like.
It's because people want to get their games out as quickly as possible, and they go, "Oh, we'll fix it in a day one patch. It's fine." So
yeah, but even
it's nothing unusual now because like last year when like I remember I ended up complaining to PlayStation about this because it really pissed me off because I had such bad internet. But like. Granted, as Turismo came out needing 100 and it was like there was like 3 gig on the disc and it needed a 90 gig or something download. I'm like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Like, what is the point?
Yeah.
So I complained, and I think I got a month's PS Plus is like to appease me. But like,
ooh. Did you use it? Did you use the month's PS Plus?
Yeah, of course I did.
To its fullest? Did you play games on the PS Plus?
Probably, maybe.
No, Alex, he will have 100% got
Can't
something
remember.
out of it.
He can only remember. You're sure you got some trophies. You'll remember them.
Yeah, I think I made the most of getting some trophies. That's right.
He's just accepted.
Not that I like to complain or anything. Not at all. Never complain.
But look, it's super impressive. I think that the game's doing better. I think the IGN review, not Sam Claiborne, Dan Stapleton said if they bring out a third, it'll probably be the best trilogy of Star Wars games that have ever been released. And I was like, that's exactly what you want to hear. But I really enjoyed the first one. I know it wasn't everyone's cup of tea. I had a lot of backtracking. Some of the mechanics weren't great. The story is a bit wet. But apart from that, the last third of that game, always talk about it. Not to say spoilers, but there's big characters in it that kind of drive the narrative, and that is super fun. Plus the combat actually makes sense towards the end as well. I think some of the creatures that you're fighting. So if they built on that, and then it kind of gives you all the powers apparently to begin with in Survivor, so it doesn't do that thing of a game where it's like, right, okay, now you need to get all your powers back, you've lost the Force. It just goes, right, we trust you with everything, crack on. And I love the idea of that as a game. So yeah, pick it up, play it over the weekend, long weekend.
It's one of those when you see a review that basically says this takes everything from the first game that people maybe were a bit concerned about and makes it better and builds on everything that people loved, and that's what you want to see, and that's what a sequel should do. And I was going to hold off because I'm a bit like, when am I going to play this? And I just got to that stage. I'm like, no, I just need to play it.
Horrible FOMO in it.
Yeah.
Lewis, you like the first one?
Yep, I did. I played it on the Xbox One a little while after it released, and I was like, I don't know if I'm that fussed about cheese or whatever. And I was like, this is fine, this is good, I'm really enjoying this. And then it got to a point where I think they were in the spaceship for the first time, and it was like there was some horrendous gale like blowing through the ship because Cal Kestis's cloak was like kind of flapping away at the back. I was like, even then I was like, it's fine, I don't care.
It was a poncho. Get it right.
It was a poncho. His poncho was just going apeshit. But no, I think I really liked it. Like I've started playing it again a couple of times. I've never completed it, other than the first time. But I'm not getting it day one because I won't be able to give it the time it needs because I know Zelda's coming out. So it'll just be once I've done with Tears of the Kingdom, I'll get Survivor. But yeah, it looks really good. It's another one I've not watched that much of because I want to go in fresh.
Freshly sluiced.
Freshly sluiced. Yeah.
Freshly sluiced. Andrew, one for you.
I will want to play it at some point. It will come as no surprise to anybody that I haven't finished the first game yet. But I have played some of it because that is my way. I play some of every game, just don't finish it. I do want to though, and I mean, I really like it because it's by the same people who made Titanfall, right? It's Respawn.
Yeah.
So I absolutely adore Titanfall. And what I played of the first one was great, but again, just it's one of those where I played it for a bit and then just dropped off because I had too much else to do. This is my problem with games, is that I like a lot of games. I'll play them for a bit, and then work will get really busy, and by the time I get time to come back round to it, there is another game that I want to play. So then the cycle repeats. At some point, I just need to quit work and then just like play all the games that I have. Maybe that's what I have to do. I don't know.
I think that sounds like a great idea.
Yeah,
that's exactly what we should all do, I think.
Yeah.
So we've all got a similar conundrum.
Andrew, do you think if all games had a countdown timer, like a 30-second countdown timer, and you had to like progress a little and go through another gate, and then that would like bump on 20 seconds, kind of like all Sega's games.
Right.
That would make want to play it a bit more. I
I'm,
need to get to this gate. Come on.
maybe I'm trying to imagine the games that I play with that now, like The Last of Us, like you going through a really horrifically emotional scene, and they're like, "Quick, we need to go somewhere. We've got 30 seconds."
Like,
And Andrew, can you explain why there's sideways petrol cans in your background as well? Just while we're
Why the sideways? What?
petrol cans in the background, because they just look like petrol cans.
That?
No, all the things on the shelves. What are they? Sideways
Oh,
petrol
yes.
cans. Yeah. What?
They are my binders full of many movies.
Full
and
of
TV
women.
shows.
Who said that? Was that Trump? Oh no, who was it? Binders full of women. I'm sure that was a quote. Anyway, I've just quoted Trump.
Is that just a quote that you've made up? Is that your
Could be.
quote?
Binders full of women. There we go. I'm going to get cancelled for that one. Microsoft vows to appeal as the UK regulator blocks its acquisition of Activision Blizzard. CMA, who apparently Alex said, got no power in the UK, says allowing Microsoft to take a strong position in cloud gaming would undermine innovation. The UK's Competition and Markets Authority has announced it's preventing Microsoft's proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard over concerns the deal would alter the future of the fast-growing cloud gaming market. In its statement, CMA said that Microsoft failed to effectively address the concerns in the cloud gaming sector. Reacting to the CMA's decision, Microsoft Vice Chair and President Brad Smith, we remain fully committed to this acquisition and will appeal. The CMA's decision rejects a pragmatic path to address competition concerns and discourages technology innovation and investment in the United Kingdom. We have already signed contracts to make Activision Blizzard's popular games available on 150 million more devices, and we remain committed to reinforcing these agreements through regulatory remedies. We're especially disappointed that after lengthy deliberations, this decision appears to reflect a flawed understanding of this market and the way the relevant cloud technology actually works. Alex, it's going to drag on even further, mate.
Get me.
Yeah. Can you be bothered with
Like,
this?
I'm so fed up with this whole thing. If anybody listened to X-Players at the weekend, you'll probably understand I'm very fed up with this whole situation. But it's just getting ridiculous now, and the whole rhetoric of it. There's so much vitriol in some of the things that's coming out now. Like it's. I mean, when you look at what was it Microsoft said to do, this is the darkest day in the 40 or the 4 decades that they've operated in the UK and all this shite, and you're just like, come on, just sack it, get on with the games. Like,
yeah, I love it when it gets to the point. So like every single part of like any sort of professional environment, it's like really everyone's got to hide their emotion, be really sensible. As soon as lawyers are involved, the wording that they put into things like this is the darkest day. Hold on. What about all of the negative things that have happened in the States in the last 40 years? Like, surely those things are a darker day than you guys getting something blocked, albeit probably temporarily. It's just a bit silly, isn't it?
I mean, you can see exactly what they're doing, though. Like, all the wording, all the narrative they're putting around is just to put pressure on the government to step in and say, right, we can't. And then being the UK government and this whole economy in our country is a bit of a laughing stock, as it is at the minute. So this definitely isn't helping that, because it's just putting so much of a spotlight on it, whether they're right or wrong. I mean, I can't comment on whether this presents a competition issue in the cloud gaming market. Do I think the cloud gaming market in 10 years is going to be that huge that it's going to matter? Probably not.
So the CMA did clarify some of the comments on this as well. So the regulator said the number of monthly active users for cloud gaming in the UK has more than tripled between the start of 2021 and 2022, with the sector forecast to be 1 billion by 2026 and up to 11 billion globally. They said Microsoft already accounts for an estimated 60 to 70% of global cloud gaming services and has other important strengths in cloud gaming, from owning Xbox, the leading PC operating system in Windows, and a global cloud computing infrastructure in Azure, and also obviously Xbox cloud gaming. So they've got a point. I think what I kind of rebutted back into the group the other day was they blocked Meta, or Facebook, whatever you want to call them, from purchasing Giphy. I know they purchased them anyway, and they're now having to sell them after purchasing them, within a couple of months. So there is a precedent for them making a decision and sticking by it. It's just whether or not Microsoft are able to evidence, we're going to do X, Y, and Z to make sure that this is a more accessible infrastructure. But Be interesting. Andrew, so the Xbox was a game console that came out roughly 2 years ago.
Right.
So I don't know if you're up on current affairs or whether or not you're still.
Xbox. No. So, yeah, I actually I finally bought an Xbox Series X, and I've probably played it 3 times so far. But
Twice more than me.
Yeah, exactly. But no, but I think that Xbox wanting to buy Activision in the first place was a really stupid move, because I don't know, it's like you just at this point people are just trying to buy their way into market dominance, and PlayStation does it too, but PlayStation does it in a much more chilled out way. They buy smaller companies and go, oh, we'll buy this. I mean, Bungie was a fairly big buy, but also Bungie makes one game at the moment, whereas Activision, it has a suite of studios, makes one of the biggest games in the entire world. As much as I loathe it, it's still one of the biggest games. So they basically went, oh, let's buy the biggest game company that we possibly can. That will help, because Xbox, and I'm talking to somebody who's on the X players here, because Xbox has no games, which unfortunately is incredibly true when you compare it to the platforms. Its level of exclusives is incredibly low. It does have them, just very incredibly low. So they're just trying to buy them at this point, which I get is fine. But also, yeah, I think the competition is just going to be unfair at that point, especially if, like everybody assumes, that they end up making Call of Duty exclusive to their own platforms. They can cry all they want and say, oh no, we're going to bring it to Switch, we're going to bring it to PlayStation. They probably will for a little bit, but they're not gonna keep it forever. You just have to look at what they did with Bethesda and how they've taken all of their stuff onto their own platform. So I'm quite glad that somebody in the UK has kind of stood up to it. I mean, it's almost like a last resort at this point, right? It's just some random UK company who's gone, no, maybe not. So I hope it sticks, and I hope Xbox don't get that merger, and they just have to leave it, and then maybe get their other studios to make some games, maybe.
They could try. They've got enough of them. I think everything seems to be coming at once with Microsoft, and I think seems like Starfield's probably going to be the first domino to fall. And Alex, you said, I remember this back on the fancy picks, that there's 7 or 8 exclusives this year that are probably going to be relatively big and score relatively well. So, I mean, look, from my side, I've got no problem with fair competition. I think it's the CMA's right to be able to block something like this for the right of cloud gaming and cloud infrastructure. That's fine. I'm also relatively okay with the fact that Microsoft want to buy a massive. It's nothing new. I don't see why we have to limit one field of entertainment when you've got Disney pretty much buying absolutely everything else in television. You've got Netflix doing the same. You know, you've got Amazon Prime purchasing IP that's been around for 70, 80, 90 years in things like Lord of the Rings. So to limit it in gaming, I actually think good stuff does come out of it. I think the acquisitions that PlayStation have done, a lot of the development studios there, they're free of crunch. You know, they're free of the perils of the industry, especially when it's coming to development. They're able to create in a way that probably they couldn't have done on their own dime. So, yeah, I'm on the fence over it. I'm gonna come to the ultimate pragmatist in Lewis. Lewis, do you care?
Hi.
Do you care, mate?
Nope.
No.
Furious, BBC News, furious Microsoft boss says confidence in UK severely shaken. Join the club. Microsoft boss.
Yeah. I mean, after their response to the whole thing, they can get fucked, pretty much, to be honest. The way they responded to that is just
I think they're just saying how we feel, to be fair.
Well, no, but did you read the entire thing? Like, so Toad's Anime, Ryan Brown on Twitter, he put the statement on and he said what everybody thought, which was just that they're just absolute, like, the way that they talked about, like, they talked about people in the UK and how, like, the people in the UK are going through some really terrible stuff right now. It's like, yeah, and you not being able to buy Activision is not one of the terrible things that we're going through. Like, fuck off.
It's always
they're stopping them from getting Call of Duty on Game Pass. It adds on to misery, doesn't it?
But they were equating that with people not being able to pay for food and bills. It's like, just Just fuck off.
You know what I
That's
mean.
all I can say.
They're quite similar, aren't
It's
they?
good
Let's
he's
be
got a
honest.
job now that Neighbours is finished.
Oh no!
I bet it's
Oh,
coming
great.
back.
It
Is
is,
it?
yeah.
Amazon
Freebie.
revived it.
Mm.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, God.
Well, look, it's going to be interesting, I think, in terms of what happens over the next 6 to 8 weeks. I
Probably going to be longer than that. I mean, they're
Probably.
saying an appeal's up to 9 months if in a quick turnaround.
it's like Roz from Monsters Inc. is the person doing the form for Microsoft, and just go, no, just rejecting them again. They're all spitting feathers. But remember, we had the same drama with PlayStation when they thought they weren't going to get Call of Duty. They were equally as dramatic in the market. And I think the only people that were actually relatively sensible with Nintendo didn't really care either way. So they were just like, oh, we've released a press statement. We might be getting Call of Duty, although we haven't paid for anything.
Who is going to want to play Call of Duty on Switch? I ask you, and because that's not going to run well.
It's all right.
Okay.
The CMA have said it's not possible to put Call of Duty on Switch because
Unless it's a cloud version. Unless it's a cloud version.
Yeah, but even then, it's funny that the CMA are like sensible about this, going, it's not fucking going to happen. So like, we're blocking it. But it will happen. So that's the news.
Probably will happen.
It could. Well, you know what? It probably have to if this is anything to go by. So they're probably going to have to evidence a build of it running. Oh, that's going to be. I'd love to be a fly on the wall in that. It'd be so fucking boring and dramatic. Should we move on to something less boring and dramatic and talk about games that we picked up and played?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Bit of enthusiasm. Come on.
Do it.
Yes.
Do it. Lewis, what have you got?
In my hand?
Well,
Looking at something on my phone. Sorry, I'll pay attention.
okay, I'm not telling people off. I'm just, I appreciate my tones a
Give
bit.
Andrew a row earlier. Alex, it's you next.
I'm up last.
That's not too hard. It's easy with Alex, isn't it? Alex, I was going to say Lewis. In fact, yeah, fuck it, Lewis. Come on, what have you picked up?
Hi, I
mate.
have picked up. Hi, hi all.
Hi.
Hi. I said hi, Alex, Andrew.
Oh, hi.
Come on, guys.
Hello.
Fucking rude.
Oh,
I've
just not
picked
enough.
up a Nintendo Switch OLED Zelda edition, which is due to come tomorrow. Indeed. So yeah, that's what I've been rocking the OG since launch year at least. So yeah, looking forward to getting that. My hands on that tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow. I'm going out tomorrow night, but Saturday. That's what I've got.
I'm excited to see it. So that's the Zelda
Yep.
Zelda edition.
The Zelda one, yeah.
Very nice. You picking up any other Zelda bits?
I'm not. I've decided that I'm tatted out. I got enough. I don't need. At the moment, I'm happy with what I've got.
You're sensible, you.
I'm content.
Yeah, you are sensible. Probably
So
out
I'm
of
not-
all of us, you're the most
I decided-
sensible.
That's saying something. Yeah, I'm not getting the amiibo. I'm not getting the collector's edition. I'm just going for the bog standard game when it comes out. Nothing else. Nothing. I do have this. For people who are watching the video version, it's a thing that you can scrape across like a carpet or a sofa, and it takes out hair really well. It works
Does it? Okay.
so well if you have animals.
I want one of those because we have to use the sticky ones, and the sticky ones run out, and they're bad for the environment. And
Yeah, they're good for like clothes, but this is like if I have to scrape it on this sofa just here, it's not gonna work. I done it the other day. It's nice and clean. But yeah, that's the best thing I've picked up so far.
that's pretty cool. I like that. I like sensible things like that. But Andrew, have you picked up anything,
Hello?
mate? Have you picked up anything?
I mean, quite a lot. So 3DS and Wii U stores went down.
Oh, not this
So-
again.
So I decided that I'd bought most of the things I wanted on the Wii U. I think I bought one thing on the Wii U. I think it was Pull Blocks World that I bought on the Wii U before the store went down. But the 3DS, I realized there was a ton of digital games that were just they're never been on physical, mostly RPGs. So I bought probably about 10 3DS RPGs. Some were on sale, some were not. The weirdest one I had to buy, I was hoping to hold off on buying Fantasy Life because it's physical. However, the annoying thing was that there is a piece of DLC which expands the game dramatically, and you can only buy it if you have the game, because the way that the 3DS DLC works, you have to be inside the game to buy the DLC.
Like Tron.
So therefore, it was the day before the store was coming down. Did not have time to buy the physical game. Had to buy the digital game, and then bought the DLC. The DLC was 2 blocks. It wasn't even a big. It was
Really?
obviously just built into the game, and they just given 2 blocks to unlock it. So,
For
But I-
people who don't know what that is, that's like memory.
yes, there you go.
Yeah.
For non 3DS, 2DS XL,
Exactly.
Wii people.
Yeah. So I have a lot of
Freaks.
things now. A lot of Atlas games, especially because there's plenty of those RPGs on there. Yeah. So that. I also bought Resident Evil 4 remake, and have played precisely an hour and a half of that.
That's a long time.
It is a long time. It's double my usual. I do need to complete that because I'm a Resident Evil fan, so that will come back again at some point. But other than that, I've been buying Playdate games as well, because I got a Playdate, and of course it comes with games that come out every week. However, it also now has a store called Catalog, so I bought a few games on Catalog, which I bought Grand Tour Legends, which, if you haven't seen it, is basically like a cycling game. So you're cycling around a track, but you use the crank to kind of cycle. So the more you crank, the faster you cycle, but you'll lose energy, and you regain energy when you're kind of coasting down a hill. So you have to kind of crank at the right time so you don't run out of energy and people pass you. But the best thing about that game is the viewpoint is that you're looking right at the backside of the rider, and their little bums wiggling up and down as you're cycling. It's hilarious. And also bought Skew, which was Jörg Titel's Playdate game made by Frederic Reynal, who made Alone in the Dark, so which is also pretty good. So yeah, those are pretty much my pickups.
Lewis got a question. Hi, Lewis.
Hi again, me. Have you played the Celeste? Hi, Alex. Have you played the Celeste?
Hi.
Question for you, Andrew. The Celeste. Hi, Dan. Hi, Alex. Andrew. Sorry, it's so confusing. So many people. Have you played the Celeste game? The
I
little
have.
Celeste, like Pico game that's within Celeste, is also available on Playdate, isn't it?
It is, yes. So it's Pico 8. They converted it to Playdate. I have it right here. I have not played very much of it. I don't know how well you can see that on the screen.
Okay, yeah.
I can see your webcam.
Yeah, reflected in it. It's a highly reflective screen.
Are you using a
which
Game
is-
Boy camera as a webcam?
Yeah, it's a really weird webcam, isn't it? So yeah, I have played a little bit. It is incredibly hard, but Celeste is a hard game, and then you're making it hard by the fact that there's no color and it's on a smaller screen and all that kind of stuff. So, but it's good. It's a really good port. I'm very impressed by it. So yeah,
Just sheer curiosity. Thank you. Thanks.
you are
Thanks, Lewis.
welcome.
First time caller, long time listener, Lewis Wilson there. Alex, you picked up a game that you've already partly spoken about, but technically you won't have it yet, so it's not really a pickup. But what have you picked up?
I think other than that, the only thing I picked up in the PlayStation had I can't remember what they called it. It was like the gold sale or something on VR games. So I picked up Fantavision 22X. Is it? I don't know whether it's.
Doing really well.
I've picked that up. It's 202X, but I don't know whether it's like 22X.
Nobody
or
cares.
whether it's, but nobody really cares.
Nobody
but
cares.
it was one I was going to pick up at launch, but it went half price in sales. I picked that up. I think that's it. I've been for all I went a wee bit through my midlife crisis and a wee bit off the rails. I've kind of reined it all back in and a wee bit back to normality.
Boring now, though, isn't it? Yeah, boring. Nice. Okay, cool. Thank you for that.
You were told to stop spending money. Is what's happened.
Kinda. Yeah.
It's without one liver. Kidney, shit. You only got one liver. God, can't do that. I picked up fuck all. I'm not going to say I picked up Jedi Survivor because it's not out yet, and I'm picking up tomorrow, so it doesn't really count, Alex.
So we can say it next week.
Yeah, I can. I'll use it next week. Now that you've said that, I'm going to leave my note in. I have been playing. I've been playing Metal Gear Solid 5 on the Steam Deck. Ooh,
Yeah.
come on, everyone! Ooh, which holds up fantastically well.
Ghost.
That is a gorgeous game. So much fun to play. The story is non-existent, completely batshit. Kojima smoking meth, I've no idea, but in terms of the actual gameplay and the mechanics within it, so much fun, so clever, such an intelligent game. And just playing Maneater as you touch down in a helicopter is still one of the all-time greatest gaming moments of all time. So yeah, brilliant. Definitely recommend it. Runs brilliantly well on the Steam Deck as well if you haven't played it. Have you guys played Metal Gear Solid 5?
I've got it on PS Plus, but I've never played it.
Yeah,
I've never
I've
played
got it.
any Metal Gear Solid games.
Not even the first one.
Me neither.
Never,
Oh
none.
my god.
What is wrong with you?
So I was a Nintendo guy.
Wow.
I never had on PlayStation. I had it.
Come on, Andrew, help me out. Have you played 5?
I have, but unfortunately, it's one of those games that I played 45 minutes of. I'm very
Come
sorry.
on, Andrew. Come on.
Just let me. Just let me.
At least I've played it. I get the general gist.
It's fine. You get.
Kind of understand.
I could talk about it.
The
I'm also
Danger
watched the opening
45, we'll call
cinematic.
it.
Lewis. Go on. What were you saying?
Bit of a delay there. I said you've watched the opening cinematics, was it?
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, that is literally
Actually, the
about
opening
45.
cinematic isn't that bad for 5, if I remember rightly.
No,
it's
it's
like
fine.
an opening gameplay segment. You have to play a little bit of it. So
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
So it's actually quite movie-like. I think in the way that he's done it. Cinematography. Yeah, God, stupid. I'm now at level 4,000 on Marvel Snap. It is. Yeah, woo.
Ghosts back again.
It is. It is a problem. It's a real problem.
how much money have you spent on Marvel Snap? I'm guessing you have to spend money on it.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's a great question,
It's
actually.
about 30 quid, I think I've spent in total.
So
Hand on
it's
heart,
free to
30
play,
pounds.
right?
Yeah. But the season pass is a tenner. So it's like Fortnite or anything you buy a season pass.
Okay,
So
that's not terrible. That's all right.
the season pass is similar to like Rocket League, where you can get freebies anyway every month.
Yeah.
But
So it's not a FIFA 16 situation. No.
no, it's not. It's not
Okay,
gone.
good.
Yeah. Oh dear. Yeah, I remember that debt. That was fun. That Barclay card will not forgive me. So yeah, but the benefit I think of Marvel Snap at the moment, like the meta is just completely all over the shop. So it just means your win rate's probably like 50%. It's entirely down to when you do and don't snap in the game, which I think is when Marvel Snap's at its best, when it's completely random and there's some sort. The skill is whether or not you're willing to gamble. It's like a hand in poker more so than there's a meta going around that everyone's using, and if you use Galacticus in a certain way with this character and you've got Wolverine, like it's just none of that's happening. There's certain segments that are still very popular, but the cards have been balanced really well, and that is down to the developer constantly pushing updates to it, making sure they're listening to player feedback. So it's as fun as ever. I'm enjoying it, and I still play it a lot when I'm on the bus. So
Sounds lovely. None of what you said made any sense to me, but you're having fun, so that's all that matters.
thank you, Mum. Appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, that's cool. Lewis, you've been playing a
Hi.
game I wouldn't really expect you to play.
No, me either. So, Dan knows the game because I wrote it on the shorts. Little peek behind the curtain. I've been playing Doom Eternal just because I fancied it.
Ooh.
Ooh, the ghost line.
Keep that up.
I didn't like Doom 2016, 2018, whatever, the sort of reboot of Doom. Couldn't really get on with it, and I heard that Doom Eternal was Doom 2016, but turned up to 11. I was like, I don't know, I found that Doom a bit much, didn't know what was going on, very confusing, loud noises, lots of scary things, I didn't like it. Found it trouble to progress, but this, for some reason, I'm just like, this is amazing, this is so much fun. I could quite easily go and chainsaw these goblins to pieces all day. It's really, really addictive, such a fun kind of gameplay loop. There's a story, which I'm surprised at. Yeah, just just enjoying shooting baddies.
I played
Demons in that.
played a few hours of it. It is just fun. It's just a fun game. There's so much about it. And what you playing it on?
A PS5.
Okay, so you're getting that gorgeous 60 FPS with it as well. So it's slick,
Yeah,
buttery
I think
smooth.
60 with ray tracing. I think. Might be wrong. No, not that I notice. I'm too easy going. Oh my god!
Oh, ray tray! Look at that puddle.
It's like, look at the water just reflects off that puddle of blood. Yeah, it's not anything that I notice, but it's there.
It is, and the soundtrack to it.
Yeah, I mean it's like it's enough to keep you going. Like it keeps the blood pumping. I can't think of any songs because again you're too busy like shitting yourself and running away and yeah, trying not to die. But yeah, from when it kind of kicks in, it sounds good, but then everything just blurs and just fades into the background.
Yeah, I remember playing it and thinking, this Doom guy is meant to be this big burly kind of let's kick some alien butt. But if you were like just doing a top down view of what the character does, he's just constantly fucking running away from people, like, finding pockets of space and like running like an little. Yeah, it is a good game. I'm interested to see how you find the rest of it, and the story is actually it kicks in quite well. I remember right, it's a fun game.
I was just surprised that it had. It wasn't just you just got chucked straight into like a level. I'm surprised.
It makes me want to like go back to my youth and play Quake 2 and all those old kind of games. What was the cheat code for that? Like, no clip where you could just fly through the walls and like it's just absolute balmy shit. Loved it.
Yeah, remember the original Quake? There's a code that was just a load of queues, and I think that opened up like level select or something like that. But
yeah,
cool. I think you get cheats on this as well. I think there's an option to add in cheats, and it says if you play with cheats on, it won't hinder your progress, so you can still progress with whatever like paintball mode or whatever cheats are there, or like
decent. There you go. Crack the cheats up. Alex, it says on here a wee bit of something.
A wee bit of Benny Fox, yeah. So I haven't had a lot of time again this week to play very much because work and stuff's been really busy again. Like as Andrew was saying earlier, like work sucks. Quit, play games, ideal. But I did manage to play about, and that, I mean, when I say a wee bit, I think probably the first 30-40 minutes of Benedict Fox because it only released on Game Pass about 6 p.m. Tonight.
Tonight? I did it?
Yeah,
oh, wow.
Yeah. So I had a wee shot of that, and first impressions are really good. I had played this at EGX last year, so I liked what I played at EGX.
You
so
guys
I
both
wasn't
enjoyed
like,
it, didn't you?
I kind of, I knew it was coming to a certain extent, but it looks really good. I think they polished it a bit more. It just seems really interesting, like a good kind of mix of that investigative game and the Metroidvania. Like the style of it's really cool, but the actual graphics are really good. And I think I'll have a lot more to say about it next week, but the first kind of 30-40 minutes, I think this is going to live up to expectation rather than because it was a bit like one I was really looking forward to and I hoped it would deliver, and I think it will. So fingers crossed.
Cool. Yeah, I played it as well at EGX. I can't remember that much of it, but I do remember enjoying it.
Yeah, I remember you coming off the stand because it was where I was playing PES or something stupid or FIFA or whatever it was, and then you guys were playing a legitimate game, which to be fair is like pretty much every evening for us. So,
I suppose one thing probably just to mention, just because this is right at the beginning, it's got quite good accessibility options for like different types of players who enjoy different games because there is like puzzle elements, Metroidvania elements, kind of combat and invest. So it'll let you like say for each type of game like what you like and what you don't like. So if you don't like to get lost in a Metroidvania, it will give you a much more detailed map, tell you where you are, tell you where to go, things like that. If you're not too bothered about solving the puzzles, it will give you an auto solve option if you want to turn that on. If the combat you're not really bothered about, it will give you like a one-hit kill mode to kill things, or it'll obviously go the other way. So it gives you like that scale at the beginning to pick for each type of game what you want to play, which I thought was quite good rather than just kind of have an overall like easy, hard, super hard, or whatever you want to call it. It does
That's good.
split
Is
it
it-
into the type of game.
Oh, that's good. Does it have the option to add a countdown timer at the top? Andrew, could be for you.
Or a crank.
Oh, crank, yeah.
Synonymous with the timer and crank. Andrew, what have you been playing, mate?
So as I
45
mentioned, a
minutes
bit of
off.
Resident Evil 4 remake, which is very good. Some Playdate stuff. I do also have an Oculus Quest 2 now, which is great. So I've played. I have bought The Last Worker, but have yet to play it. Sorry, Jörg. But I have played The Climb, which is an incredible game. I'm horribly scared of heights in real life, but playing that is quite freeing because I'm able to climb really high things and I'm not fussed because I know it's not real. So it's really good fun. So I like that.
Just
what
sat
else have
up
we
at
been
like
playing?
11 and like just screaming.
I love seeing those videos of like mums and dads playing VR and they think everything's real in it.
Yeah,
And they're like
and
going
just fall
mad.
over.
It's,
Yeah, I
it's
love it.
hilarious. I managed to hook it up to the PC as well, so I played Half-Life Alyx for the first time.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So that was very, very good. I was really impressed with that, as everybody is when they play it. It's really, excellent.
Is that coming to PSVR 2? Has that been confirmed yet? Or is it still quiet?
No.
That has to come to there. It's stupid if they don't.
Yeah, fingers crossed it will do. But Valve's own little, you know how all these VR systems have their own little like way of introducing you to VR and stuff, and the Valve one is great because it's loads of little worlds that you can go around and do different things in. I can't remember what they call. I think it's like the hub or something, and that's really cool. So I've been playing a bit of that. Other than that, it's like I said, I've gone to a couple of game conventions recently, so I've played some games there. So OLL in Norwich, there was a lot of indie games there. So I played something called Harley Quest, which is something that's on Kickstarter at the moment for the Dreamcast. Obviously, since I like the Dreamcast stuff, so that's pretty cool. A 3D Dreamcast game that somebody's developing, which is pretty cool.
Cool.
Also, I got to see something called Low Tech's Light Book. I believe that's what it's called. If you know of Low Tech Games, they make things like Tapeworm and Flea. I don't know if you've ever heard of those. But he's quite so it's Alistair Lowe. He's a big indie developer, and he's made this thing called the Light Book, which is like a pop-up book, and there's a projector that projects stuff onto it, so that you open the pop-up book and you control a little character who can hop around the pop-up book. And also you can color in the pop-up book, so it's great for kids. So you can there's a castle, so you can color in the sky and the bushes and the castle and then play on it. Just the stuff that you can do with that is incredible. What he's doing with that is really awesome. So I'm excited to see how that pans out because it's still in development. Other than that, I managed to play a bit of Dead Island 2 at one of the conventions.
Okay.
Which looks really good, and I really want to play it. It's got not amazing reviews, but it's got decent reviews, so I will have to get that at some point.
Seems like a little bit of a Far Cry kind of brain dead, finish work, throw it on kind of game, which I like the idea of as well.
Yeah, it's less open world than Far Cry, though. I think it's little hubs, but like from what I played, it's just hacking the arms and heads off zombies, and it being incredibly gory and fun. That's all you want, really, isn't it? You want something where you've had a bad day and you can just hack zombies to bits rather than punch your colleague in the face. So it's one of those games.
Or your partner.
Or your partner. I mean, yeah, let's not go there.
They love a dig. That was a joke. So next, guys, now that we talked about pick up and play, well done. That was cool. Pat yourselves on the back.
Well done.
Ow.
See, that's how authoritative I am. That'll be a lesson to you. Andrew, are you ready for The Vault?
Open up the vault. The vault.
Welcome back to another episode of The Vault, where we put our guests' games to the ultimate test.
That's right, Dan. Our guests are in for a real challenge as they pitch their favourite games to us. But here's the catch, according to the AI. Only one game can make it into the coveted TCP vault, while the other sadly gets tossed into the dreaded bin.
It's like gaming survival of the fittest, Alex. Our guest will have to bring his A game and convince us why his pick deserves a spot in the exclusive vault.
And we don't go easy on them. We'll be grilling our guests with tough questions, all with our signature cross players charm.
Wunderbar. So, let's get ready to rumble and see which games rise to the top in, all at once, The Vault.
The Vault.
The Vault.
Hi, Andrew.
Hello.
So we've asked you to pick two games.
Yeah.
Two games. We're only going to
Yeah.
pick one. One's going to go in the bin.
Okay.
The bin that I picked the name of for Lewis, because we laugh about bins and we used to have a bin chat segment, which you'll probably lovingly remember. So two games. So only one of which is going to go in the vault. One's going to go in the bin. Then we want a film of choice, a snack of choice, a drink of choice, and a wild card, which can be absolutely fucking anything that you want to put in the vault. They're going in the vault anyway. However,
Okay.
I want game number one from you, please, sir.
Game number one. So, I mean, I've already been on a long time ago Desert Island cartridges and got Resident Evil in there. So I feel that's safe. We're safe with Resident Evil. We're good. So I'm trying something different this time. I'm going in a different direction, and my first choice is Shenmue.
Instant rejection from Lewis. Okay, so that's game one. So now,
Yep.
What is game two, please?
Game 2 is very different. Begins with the same letter, but it is Silent Hill 2.
Oh my god, a bit different. There we go, just a bit. Okay, so we've got Shenmue and we've got Silent Hill 2. So everything that you say now has got to rhyme. So game number one, you're going to get 2 to 3 minutes to justify why you think this game deserves to go into the vault. And deep breath, please. Yeah, there we go. Okay, don't make the audio at all for the listeners at home. Go.
Okay, so thanks for that. So yeah, Shenmue is actually a pivotal game in video games history. It is a first for so many things. It is one of the first open world games. It introduced QTEs, quick time events, to games at large. It was Yu Suzuki's first major console game, and it brought basically an arcade legend to the console space. It made the Dreamcast, which was already an amazing console, basically even better by being on it. It's just such an amazing game that means a lot to the people who played it back then and also now. It's an RPG, but it deals with things that are in the real world. It's a real world, real setting, a real place in Japan in the 80s with the real weather, all that kind of stuff. You get people who have their own day-to-day stuff that you can go and talk to, find them at certain places at certain times of day. Has an awesome combat system, a really great story. Maybe it's a little bit clunky these days, but it was the first or one of the first to do so many things in video games that I think it is well deserving of being in the vault because it is such a classic, and other games kind of owe it a debt of gratitude, I think, even if people today don't particularly get its charms, but I do. I think many people do. It is bloody brilliant. I don't know how much time I've got left. I could probably
that's
rant
fine.
on for a while longer.
That's okay. I think you just hit 2.5 minutes, so that's quite good. Okay. Very spirited response there in favour of Shenmue, and now you've got to battle your second favourite child, evidently. Silent Hill 2, you've got 3 minutes, sir. Go for it.
Okay. I wasn't sure whether to put 2 or 1 in here. 1 is an amazing game. You should play it. But 2 is the pinnacle of the Silent Hill series, I believe. It's what horror should be. It is a story about a guy who's lost his wife and finds a letter from her. She's dead, but she's written him a letter, and decides to go to the place that he suggests that she suggests he goes to, because why wouldn't you, to find out what's going on, and finds himself in a whole lot of trouble. Manifestations of his grief and his things he's done manifest themselves as Silent Hill's enemies, and he comes across a lot of very unsavory characters who've also done very bad things, who are also battling Silent Hill and their own psyches. It is just such an incredibly put together game. The graphics for the time are fantastic. The swirling fog, the music is on another level. Akira Yamaoka is one of the greatest video game composers ever to live. I don't care what anybody says, he's amazing. I've seen him live, incredible. And it's just a breathtaking journey through a horrific town that nobody wants to be in, but you should definitely take the journey because it's worth it.
Ooh, nice way to finish. Now this is going to be the fun part. So we now need to decide which of these games is going to go in the vault and which one's going to go in the bin. So I'm going to ask a couple of questions. So obviously 2 very different games that you picked here, Andrew. No Resident Evil. Obviously you've already said that's on the desert island, so we don't have to bring that here. So which one of these games do you play first?
Which one did I play first?
Did you play first?
I would have played Shenmue first because it came out first.
Okay, so Shenmue came out first. And in terms of that kind of first experience, obviously Dreamcast was, let's say, important for you. I think that's probably fair to say. Yeah, that's okay.
A little bit, yeah.
Would you say this is the best Dreamcast game?
I mean, it comes the top of nearly every list. Whenever anybody does a top Dreamcast games list.
I didn't ask for a list. I asked for your opinion. Is this the
best?
Sure,
yeah. But I would generally vote it. If I'm voting in a list, it will generally be up there with other games. I think it's probably. It changes sometimes, but by and large, that is my favorite Dreamcast game for sure. It's not the game that got me into the Dreamcast, but it's the one that showed me what an amazing system it was. So.
Okay. Alex, Lewis, any questions on Shenmue?
Did you finish it?
Yes. I haven't finished the remaster yet. I would like to at some point. I just don't have the time these days. But yes, I did finish it, and I very much enjoyed it. Obviously.
How long did you spend in game moving pallets?
On the little forklift truck. As long as was required by the game, and not much longer.
Because I played it. My mate had a Dreamcast, and he was like, "Oh, play Shenmue," and I just remember watching him going, "What the fuck is he doing? Just moving pallets." And I was like, what do you need to do? He goes, "I need to fill my quota." What are you talking about?
I mean, yeah, you get a little job and you have to do it, but then you also get to do forklift races. So, it's swings and roundabouts.
I never showed me that.
Okay. So
So
that's
did forklift races.
Yeah, that's that as well. So that's Shenmue. Okay, so now Silent Hill 2. So you said Silent Hill 1 we should play. So is Silent Hill 2 you said is the best of the two? What about PT?
I mean, PT. I mean, it's a trailer. It's essentially a play. Well, that's what it's called: a playable teaser, playable trailer. It is not. It's not a game in its own, and technically, it's not Silent Hill. Technically, it was a trailer for Silent Hills, which never came to be. It's its own thing. But I've never played it because I didn't have a PS4 when it came out, and then they removed it from listing, and I've never been able to get it. I've never played it. I've seen people play it. Huh?
I've got a PS4 with it on.
I will be coming to yours soon. But yeah, I mean, one is fantastic and set the standard, but 2 ran with it. Of course, there's 3, there's 4, and then there's a bunch of other games as well. 3 is also up there as a great Silent Hill game. 4 is an underrated masterpiece. But 2 is the one that everybody thinks of, and it's the one I think of when I think of Silent Hill, just because it is an incredible game, and it's obviously a good one because it's the one that they're remaking. They're not starting with 1, they're going straight to 2, and there's a reason for that. It's just that the story is incredible. It relies more on the character rather than... So 1 and 3 are very much about the town. It's all about the town, whereas 2 is about James as a character and delving into his psyche, and I think it makes that even better than 1 and 3 are for that.
Alex, have you ever played this game?
No.
No. Any questions on this?
No.
Okay. Lewis, any questions? Have you ever played Silent Hill 1 or 2?
No.
Any questions?
Maybe.
Okay.
Has it been remastered? It's kind of one I want to play, but I feel like going back.
It's the one that's getting done just now by Bloober Team, isn't it?
Is it?
Bloober Team, yeah. So it should be coming out later this year, I believe. It is playable, and I think you... I don't know. So it was on the original Xbox, so I'm not sure if it's backwards compatible or not. I'm guessing probably not. But there are multiple ways to play it.
Yeah, it's one of these ones that... I don't know if it's because I get like Resident Evil stuck on my head. Yeah, I have tank controls in my head, even though I don't know if it has that, and it's kind of one I'd want to play like a remastered version of first, and then if I felt the need to go back and play the original.
Yeah.
It looks really good, and like it's another Kojima game, right?
No. Silent Hills was going to be a Kojima game. Silent Hill 2 is
okay.
not. None of the original Silent Hill games were Kojima. But the one person who's the same throughout is the composer, who's Akira Yamaoka. So even if you don't play the games, I would listen to the soundtracks. 3 and 4 I like better for some reason, but 2 has some amazing music, and 1 as well. I mean, they're all great soundtracks. If you're going to listen to any of the soundtracks, listen to 3. It is the best one. But they're all good. Just listen to them all. Just put them on repeat, especially if you really want to be in a really shitty, depressed mood, because they just really gets right in your head.
Aggressive depression.
Industrial noise. Half of the soundtrack is, but then there's some very nice melodic guitar riffs and songs, and from 3 onwards they have a singer as well. So there are actual songs with lyrics in by English lyrics. It's not Japanese, so you can understand what they're saying, and they're very, very good. So.
Okay, I've heard enough. Alex, Silent Hill 2 or Shenmue?
I think Shenmue for me.
Shenmue. Okay. Lewis, Silent Hill 2 or Shenmue?
On the strength of stacking those sweet pallets, I've got to say Shenmue.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for
Andrew.
what the game is, like I agreed completely with everything you said, Andrew. Other games owe Shenmue quite a lot, and making them look so good.
Okay.
Sonic Sean in the chat also agreed with everything Andrew said about it being pivotal in video game history.
I'm Sonic Sean. Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm gonna keep it interesting, just because I want Andrew to have to pick between his 2 kids. So I'm gonna go with Silent Hill 2. And Andrew, now you've got the definitive choice. Yours is, if you decide to go with Silent Hill 2, that will go in. You have the overwhelming majority.
Okay.
Or alternatively, if you want to put Shenmue in there, one has to go in the
I see.
bin, one's going into the vault. What's it going to be?
I was hoping for a second that if it was a tie, they'd both go in. So that's a shame.
We need something in
Damn
the bin.
it.
We need to feed the bin. Feed the bin.
Feed the bin. I mean, it would be probably remiss of me not to put a Dreamcast game into the vault. I have a feeling that there won't be many going in. So I think that's probably where I'm going to go. So I'm going to say Shenmue.
Okay, let's have clicks for Shenmue. It's in the vault, guys. It's in the vault. What did Ethan pick?
Ethan picked Breath of the Wild.
We've got Breath of the Wild and we've got Shenmue in the vault now. Okay, so film of choice.
So
What's going in the vault? Oh, go on, Alex. You go first.
I was just going to say, well, it might come up in the next chat, but just mentioning Ethan, he has said in the chat, ask him about the Silent Hill film. What about the Silent Hill film, man?
It's a horrible film.
Which one? There are 2. So there's a 3rd one coming out. So the first Silent Hill film is brilliant. It's not like the best film ever, but it's a really solid adaptation of a video game. Like before The Last of Us came out, it was probably up there with the best of the adaptations for video games. Silent Hill Revelations, which was the sequel, is absolute dog shit. Please do not watch it.
Which one was the one that actually had Pyramid Head in it? Was that the first?
I think they both have Pyramid Head in them.
Did they?
Basically, Pyramid Head has now become synonymous with Silent Hill, even though he's very specific to 2. But because he's so iconic, they just plonk him in everything. But yeah, Revelation has Kit Harington in before he went into Game of Thrones, and he is not good. I'm surprised he got hired for Game of Thrones if they saw that first. But yeah, it's watch the first one, don't watch the second, and keep an eye on the 3rd one, because the 3rd one looks like it might be interesting.
Watch the first one, don't watch the second, listen to the 3rd, play the second one. None of them are to do with Kojima.
This is the 3rd soundtrack.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so film of choice. Sorry, what was that? Did you pick the Silent Hill film?
No.
You just asked the question about Silent Hill. Sorry, confusing life. Kit Harington's going in there? What's that?
We went off on a tangent there. I was torn. So one of probably my favorite director is Luc Besson. And 2 of his films are my favorites. I would have to pick one. I was torn. I was going to pick The Fifth Element because I love The Fifth Element. I think that's one of the quintessential sci-fi films.
Amazing
Just brilliant.
film.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. However, I quite often quote this is my favorite film of all time, and it still is Leon. Leon is an absolutely incredible film. I can watch that multiple times. It's so layered. There's so much depth. It's so interesting. Gary Oldman is incredible in it, as is Natalie Portman and Jean Reno. I mean, the whole cast is just fantastic in that film. It's a surprising film. It's like a crime film, a bit of a gangster film, and then layered with a romance between a grown man and a 12-year-old child. But it's done in such a way that it's
Something for all.
Yeah, something for everybody, especially Smark. But it's weird because although there is that going on, there's also this innocence about it, and the way it ends is really beautiful. So horrific but beautiful. So yeah, I'd have to say Leon. I think I could just watch that over and over. I think it's a fantastic film.
Shame about Bruce Willis as well. He's not well, is he?
It is that what he was in. Yeah, he was in The Fifth Element. But yeah, that is a shame.
Yeah, shame. Okay, so we've got Leon in there. Snack of choice. Any snack. What are you putting in?
So I'm just thinking because when I think of snack, I'm like, okay, it's something that I need to be able to eat while I'm watching a film or playing a game. And I was going to choose jam donuts, but I realised that would just be too sticky for like if I had a controller in my hand, that's just not going to happen. And you can't really play and eat a donut at the same time. So I think
Speak for yourself, Sunshine, because
It can definitely be done.
I'm sure it could be.
You just eat it like a duck.
That's just how I'm going to imagine you eating from now on. That's just what you do.
I eat like Theresa May laughs.
Do you also eat while running through a field of wheat?
Maybe. Whatever. If I'm hungry, you can't. Yeah.
But my snack of choice, speaking of fields of wheat, is chili heat wave Doritos.
Oh, good choice. I like it.
Yeah.
I love how you
great.
dodge jam donuts, but somehow you're not going to get chili heat wave all over you.
Yeah, but you
I
can
think
just
that
pick
would
them
be
up between
worse.
two fingers. Like you don't have to. You're not going to grab like a handful of them and shovel them in, are you? You could just pick one at a time.
Who are you
Like-
speaking to?
Oh, that's true. Sorry.
It just leaves that dust on your fingers, and then you're. Oh no.
Well,
Yeah,
is that all
like-
sugar, right? Yeah, strap it to your face. Like, yeah. But
A horse
the
feedback.
best ones are when you get that bag that has like loads of the coating on all of the chips. Because you can get sometimes the bags and the coating isn't really there, or it's gone to the bottom and it's not really on the chips. But sometimes you get it and it's really in there on the chip, and it's just so good, so good.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Or where you get a little bit powder on the bottom of the bag. And you just turn into like a little crack addict, like a little pig snuffling for truffles. Like,
He's snorting the
chili
the
heat
Doritos
wave.
dust off the bottom.
Seeing into another dimension. I could see Spyro the Dragon. Okay, so we've got chili heat wave Doritos. Drink of choice.
You'll approve of this one, Dan. Pepsi Max Cherry.
They're going to say you'll approve of this one, Dan. Fat
you-
bastard. Yeah,
Jesus.
Pepsi Max Cherry is the one of
Yes,
all of the
it is,
Pepsi Max.
absolutely.
Oh,
Cinematic universe. To be fair, you had that on Soda Stream, didn't you, Alex?
yes, I do.
Nice.
Okay. Drink of choice. Lewis, not impressed.
Anything with cherry goes straight in the bin.
Dr Pepper.
In the bin.
Lewis. Oh my
At least send it to me. Like, don't just put it in the bin.
Send it to you. I'll package the bin up. Send
So
it.
you
Sure.
obviously weren't a fan of My Baby All Gone when you were a child either. My baby all gone.
Oh,
You
yeah,
make it all gone. She loves cherries in a jar.
Smells like cherries.
Smells like cherries. My cat's called Cherry as well. You absolute filth.
Well, that's one of the main reasons why I don't like it, because of your cat.
Put it in the
Yeah,
bin.
what a bell end. Okay, so we've got Shenmue in the vault. Andrew sat there in his little chair, eating his chili heat wave, not getting it on the controller. He's wearing gloves or something. Drinking Pepsi Max Cherry. Now we need to know what your wild card is. Anything you can put in the vault with you at all.
There was a part of me to start with that was like, can I just take Silent Hill as my wild card?
If you want to take that,
think
as your wild card.
That's not allowed.
There's a loophole. You found it.
Kind
It's
of
a loophole.
cheating.
Shit.
No, I will. I'll abide by the rules of the game. Silent Hill 2 is in the bin, unfortunately, but I would probably, my wild card would probably be the Playdate.
Okay, taking the Playdate with you. Nice. Okay. So there we go. That's your episode of the vault done, mate. Are you happy with your answers? So you've got Shenmue, you've got your Leon film playing on the telly when you're in between gaming sessions. You're playing on your play date. You're eating your chili heat wave, and you're drinking your Pepsi Max Cherry. That's not bad.
I think that's right. Yeah.
So you're locked in the vault for night with that stuff. That's pretty decent.
Yeah, I think that's all right. I'd have a pretty good night. I mean, I would be very malnourished, but I would have a good time nonetheless.
Didn't see how big the bag was. Could be a big bag. You never know. But then
mean, even if it's a giant bag, there is not that much nourishment in a bag of chili heatwave Doritos.
Isn't it? I didn't know that. Shit, that's my problem after all this time. Okay, so that's the vault. Clicks for Andrew, please, chaps. Clicks for Andrew.
Well, thank you.
Well done.
There we go. So that was the fun part. Andrew, are you ready to speed run?
Not really.
Yeah, speed run.
Speed run.
Oh, welcome to Speed Run, the internet famous gaming quiz challenge. In this high-speed segment, our guest has 90 seconds to answer as many questions as he can on his chosen gaming subject, and they can choose anything they want. Armor from Elden Ring, the breeds of Nintendogs. Speedrun is the mastermind of gaming trivia. As Andrew is going to race against the clock, his scores will then be tallied and added to the TCP leaderboard, where the highest scoring will be immortalised as true gaming masters. Andrew, welcome to Speedrun.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
No pressure. Welcome to the Lion's Den. Andrew, what have you picked as your subject, please? Your chosen subject.
I kind of wish I hadn't chosen it now, because I failed miserably in a prior quiz when this topic came up, to my shame. But I have once again to try and redeem myself. I have chosen Dreamcast.
Oh, he's trying to redeem himself with the Dreamcast. This is going to be very fun. Oh, Lewis, do you think he's going to do well?
I think you'll do well. I've got your back, man.
Thanks. At least somebody does. I don't even have my own back, so that's good.
Alex doesn't look confident. You think he's going to fluff it?
If the last time's anything to go by, then I think this could be a shit show.
So, how many did Ethan get last time? Alex, you're the official score master that I didn't tell needed to know this information. But
I think he got. Did he get 5? But then we gave him 2 extra, and he got 7 because we only gave him 60 seconds, and we decided that 90 was better.
You just reminded me that I haven't set my countdown to be 90 seconds on here, so I'll change that. But yeah, that's fine. That is correct. So he's on 7. So we aggregated 7 for him. So we've got 7 to beat in 90 seconds, Andrew.
I already know I'm not going to do that, but let's try it anyway.
You're so defeatist. Come on, you can do it. So ChatGPT has helped me out with as many questions as possible. I think I've got about 30, so you got plenty to shut up, Liz. Honestly, ChatGPT is just fucking helping me out with a lot of stuff at the moment. Okay, so I'm going to start the clock in a second, and I'm going to start 30 seconds on my timer, and then shift it over to the 60 seconds on the timer in front of us. Alex, are you okay to keep score as we go through? Get those digits ready, please. And let's speed run. And Andrew, you don't have to wait for me to finish the question to answer. Okay. As well, you can just fire off, just like Mastermind. Just I don't know if you ever watched it, but okay. Deep breath. Let's speed run. What was the internal code name for the Dreamcast console during its development?
Katana.
What was the original release date of the Dreamcast console in Japan?
Oh, the 28th of November, 1998?
27th, I'll give you it. What was the name of the controller for the Dreamcast, which featured a built-in LCD screen?
The VMU, Visual Memory Unit.
What was the maximum resolution output of the Dreamcast console?
640 by 480?
Yeah. What was the name of the Dreamcast online service, which was the first of its kind?
Dream Arena.
No.
SegaNet?
Not allowing it. Which Dreamcast game was the first to supply online multiplayer?
Chi-Chi Rocket.
What was the name of the Dreamcast web browser, which is the first to be included with the home console?
Dream Arena?
Nope. What was the name of the Dreamcast game that was developed by Smilebit and featured a unique art style and gameplay mechanic?
Jet Set Radio.
No. What was the name of this company that Sega partnered with to develop the modern accessory for the Dreamcast, and what was their role in its development?
Pass?
I said modern. It was meant to be modem. I'll give you that one. It was Gothic. What was the name of the Dreamcast internal clock and calendar system that allowed games to have real-time events?
Pass.
Which Dreamcast game was developed by Sega's AM Annex team and featured a unique gameplay mechanic where the player controlled a character who would transform into different animals?
Pass.
Blue Stinger. What was the name of the final game released for the Dreamcast console?
Final game. Depends. Carouse.
Yes. What was the name of the online service? That is time. I've started, so I'll finish. What was the name of the game development studio that created the third-party launch title Power Stone for the Dreamcast?
It was just Capcom, wasn't it?
It was Capcom. Cool. There we go. 7.
But the second one, Dan, you said you'd give him a. Alex did not put a finger.
Oh, do we or
No.
don't we? So you said
No, it was
November
wrong.
28th. It was, yeah, to be fair, you're right. I don't know, November 27th.
I mean, it was a day off, but bear in mind this was 30 years ago. So
But it's
That's harsh.
It's
I think it's
binary.
harsh.
It's a 1 or a 0. Like, no, it's wrong.
Ethan.
also, you didn't finish one of the questions, but I said Dream Arena and it was SegaNet. But did it specify if it was American or UK? Because they all had different names. It was Drycast, SegaNet, and Dream Arena.
What was the name of the Dreamcast online service, which was the first of its kind for home consoles, was the question.
Yeah, so
SegaNet.
it depends on that didn't specify the area. So in America it was SegaNet, in Europe it was Dream Arena, and in Japan it was Drycast.
Okay, so I'll ask you one more question randomly, and if you get it right, we'll give you an extra one. But because you've been a dick about it, we're not giving you November 27th now.
Okay, sure.
So you're on 7 to take you to the top of the leaderboard.
If we were going to be if we really were a bit dick about it, we'd take that back down to 6 because we gave him a point for the question that you got wrong. And we ask him 2 questions, and then he's got the potential to
Okay,
get to
2
8.
questions.
I
I
think
can
that's
questions
right.
did I
facilitate
get
that.
wrong?
You didn't get it wrong. We gave you a point for nothing because the
What do you
Dan
mean
asked the
we played for
question
nothing?
wrong. The one about the modem.
Come on,
okay.
chaps.
All right,
Okay,
sure.
ready? Here
Back
we
to
go.
6, and we've got 2 questions to ask. Let's
What
do
was
it,
the
mate.
name of the unreleased Dreamcast game that was a collaboration between Sega and Microsoft and was set to feature online multiplayer between Dreamcast and PC players?
Oh my god. And PC players. And unreleased. Why do I not know this? The only thing I can think of is Propeller Arena, and I don't think that's right.
Ooh, Project X.
Yeah, different. No.
There we go. What was the name of the company that developed the GD-ROM format for the Dreamcast game discs?
Yamaha.
There we go, Yamaha.
Right, we're back to 7. So
And what was the benefit
all's
of a
well that ends
GD-ROM?
well.
What was the benefit of a
Harsh, I
GD-ROM?
think.
What was the benefit of GD-ROM?
Yeah.
It was a gigabyte in size, so it was larger than a usual disc.
There we go. And faster data transfer rates as well, apparently. That's actually really interesting. It's funny how you always get offshoots of like, so there was like obviously mini disc, then you had like GD-ROM, and then it was X, Y, and Z. It's quite cool.
Yeah,
But
I mean, the
always had
reason they made
benefits.
GD-ROM essentially was they wanted to stop piracy. However, people realised they could just burn games to CD, and it was the same thing. So.
what was the thing that Xbox had? Because obviously Blu-ray came out, and Xbox had
Xbox was DVD.
HD DVD, wasn't it?
HD DVD was the one that was supposed to compete with. I have a HD DVD player. I bought one. I love dead media formats. I think they're amazing. I really want a Laserdisc player.
Just to take the heat off me then, Alex. So how many did Andrew get right, please?
7.
7. So he's now joint
Harsh,
top
that's harsh.
of. I think that is harsh.
In the
I
hearts
don't.
and minds of.
If I was to audit this, you'd be lucky to get 7.
You should
but-
ask the audience see how they feel about
Yeah.
it.
Audience,
Ask
how do you
the-
feel about
the
it?
the people who Andrew didn't count as an entire person in themselves. How do you feel about this?
Generic
You're
audience, what
dragging
should we
up
give it?
things here.
7 or
How
8?
How do you feel?
Dragging things up. How dare you?
I like it. That's
I'm not
fantastic.
budging.
He's not. You know what? 7.5.
No,
No? Fucking hell, you're tough.
I
you.
should get a half for knowing it was November 1998, even if I got the one day off.
no,
I think it's fair.
no.
Unwavering. Right, we're going to take this debate onto the WhatsApp group. If you like,
Monster at heart.
you fucking ruined my outro.
Uh,
Bell end.
Do it again.
Ethan said, give him it. He did better than me under the time limit. And then Sonic Sean 34 said, give Andrew points.
No.
Whoa, Alex is on the right. It's taking it to watch that. We're going to put a poll, because Andrew loves a poll, over in.
I do love a poll.
Hold on, I meant that as in like a genuinely not. There was no euphemism involved.
I mean, both ways work. It's fine.
Can't win, can we? Thank you for listening to our inane ramblings this week. It was inane then. If you're a regular listener and fancy getting a bit more involved with our fellow players, our social links are pretty simple and easy to remember. YouTube.com/thecrossplayers. Twitter.com, Lewis, /
The Cross Players.
Thank you, mate. Alex, Patreon.com /
The Cross Players.
And if you like our Discord, or you like the idea of Discord, go to thecrossplayers.com / come on, Andrew, you can get that.
Discord?
Yeah, well, fucking there we go. That's fine. He's a pro, isn't he? Andrew, it's been a pleasure. Where can we find all of your work and things, please?
You can find me at Augment84 on Twitter. Anything work related, it's at Lost in Cult, or go to lostincult.co.uk. Lots of amazing things going on. And I didn't mention earlier, but we just announced a new video game related trivia card game called Do You Know Gaming, which we're doing with the guys at Did You Know Gaming, who are big YouTube.
You're not compiling them.
No, I'm not. I will assure you, I am not creating the questions for this game. That is all. Did you know gaming? They know gaming. I do not blatantly know gaming. So, yeah, but that should be fun. Look out for that. That should be coming later this year.
Wonderful. Alex, did you have a fun time?
I did.
Oh, that's nice. You look really happy then. And you got Rivendell in the back as well. It's all built.
It's all done. It was a lovely build. Kind of sad it's finished.
Go and have a little look on Twitter for the pictures of that, because it's stunning. And Lewis, you're just stunning anyway, aren't you?
Thanks.
I'm just very
Thank
happy
you.
you're back. I'm happy you're here. I love you.
It's been a month or so. I can't remember.
Did a wee while, yeah.
Age, you know.
We've
It
missed you.
feels like a while.
Seen you.
Feels like a while.
Strapping face, such a handsome. Anyway, if you like what we do, like we said, go on to all those things. And special thanks to our patron producers Ethan Hunt, Steve Sticky Simpson, Nate Ellingsworth, Carl Hughes, Sean Hughes, Jason Frost, Sarah Perbrick, Rebecca Rudgenrath, Luke Scooper, Kevin Scully. I said Luke Scooper. Sorry, Luke. Luke Cooper, Kevin Scully, Mark Hammond, and Storm. Andrew, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much, and well done on your vault inclusions and also doing yourself proud on SpeedRun as well.
Thank you very much for having me, and I was very pleased with the speedrun, to be honest. Let's see if I get that half a point, because then I can
Up to Alex.
skip ahead of Ewan, not Ewan, Ethan.
You're definitely not getting it now.
There's one
Sorry,
point you've lost.
Ethan.
Oh,
Half a person, as they know his name.
Ethan McGregor in the chat. He's going to be very disappointed. Okay, goodbye. Have a wonderful time. Bye.
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 Cheerio.
Cheerio.
Kept you waiting, huh?